Face front, true believers. Blue Dragon 5 here, hosting another merry and marvelous edition of Marvel Studios Debates live. Seemed fitting given the Phase 4 output this month. Tonight's topics boast the following: Best Loki episode, Black Widow's best MCU moment, and most anticipated upcoming MCU project. Alright, folks, time to suit up, board a Quinjet, or grab a temp pad. Want to go the scenic route. So we can head on down and pose up a storm at the arena. In this corner, the man who perfected the fan film and brought Deadpool into live action proper before Ryan Reynolds. Friday, cue the AC/DC. It's Mr. Blink500 himself, Chris.R. Notarile.
Thank you. I need that Eric Andre clap sound, but just like four guys doing it. Thank you.
Okay. In the opposing corner, sporting the cloak of levitation and an alligator variant of himself, watch out, he's come to bargain. Put your Ditko hands together for Dr. Jacob Gulliver!
Hello.
And joining me on the living tribunal of judges, Rohit Dar and Connor Nielsen.
I can't be stopped.
Remains.
And running things behind the scenes as our very own guy in the chair, it's Tiki.
Production Nook, Dragon. Production Nook.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that. So, how are we feeling, guys?
I feel right, Dragon.
Doing okay.
I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful.
That's nice.
For his purpose.
Ah, this guy. He gets it. All right. So we're gonna kick things off proper. I'm gonna refresh folks playing the home game and the folks that are joining us for the first time. Again, we're gonna lucky have a really kind of a bang up kind of assemblage going on here. Real kind of regular portal scene on the left, if you will. So here are the rules. Okay, it's gonna keep it nice and simple here. So we're gonna start with 3 main rounds, which basically goes like this. We go back and forth. The player is going to reveal what their choice was, and then they're going to go around again. They're going to give an opening statement, basically say all the good stuff they want to get in there up front, maybe pleading their case for why they're right. And then it's a free-for-all. They're going to fight it out until they hear the bell, which is represented by my little co-host here, R2D2. When you hear that, it's time for the judges to deliberate. The old tribunal is going to deliberate. They're going to cast their votes, and whoever gets the most votes wins the point for the round. So at the end of 3 rounds, we have the optional feature of our little game that will be offered to both players. They don't have to do this if they don't want to. We're going to call it the Kang coin. Because basically, they'll have the option to flip it or not. If it lands heads, you get a point. Lands tails, not so lucky, you could lose a point. So after all that, that's at the end of 3 rounds. And at the end of 3 rounds, after the coin flip option, we will enter the speed round, where let's just say things get a little interesting. We have some live and pre-sent audience questions that they will be able to judge, and they'll basically, your fates will be in their hands for some of the questions. Some of the questions may be something we've cooked up. Who knows? Name of the game is the first to get 5 points wins the game. Now, gentlemen, do you understand these rules as I have explained them to you both here this marvelous evening?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, cue the randomizer. We're going to assign the order for this evening. Whoever name that comes up first, they're going to go first, for the 3 rounds. Okay, we've randomized. Gulliver's going first. All right, let's make like Throg and hop to it. Round 1. All right, so round numero uno. So Loki season 1 is wrapped up and has taken the world by storm, which begs the question, looking back, what is the best episode of Loki season 1? And where's my banner? This
Who's
is what Gulliver's going to go first. Gulliver, what do you got?
Okay.
All right. So, in my opinion, the best episode of the first season of Loki is episode 5. Before all of this, we have plenty of mystery with like what's going to happen to Loki. We get the sort of like emotional teardown, the quote unquote sad little boy rhetoric that we get from Mobius, where he gets to kind of examine who he is and what kind of a person he wants to be. But the reason that this episode is so good is because this episode we get to see all the what could have beens, because we're not just experiencing in his mind what could have been. We're seeing visual representations of what could have been, all these other versions of Loki, and we get to see how different events would have affected him differently throughout the course of his life. We also really get a big change from the previous series, where things start to go off the rails a lot more than they were before. We get an opportunity to really give him a chance to branch out, do something heroic, do something outside of his normal character, and in more than one case, create a heroic persona for himself. And I think that is really valuable, because we get to see him and Sylvie and classic Loki, and I'm going to also say alligator Loki do what they need to do, and get get a bunch of little moments. Get a bunch of little moments that really get some good character development in. On top of that, you got this cool wasteland with tons of interesting scenery. That's stuff that's been dumped at the end of time. We get a canonization of the Thanos copter, which is hilarious, and Throggy, which is great. So yeah, I think overall, I think this is the strongest episode. I do think that Richard E. Grant kind of steals the show a little bit as classic Loki. But there's still some wonderful moments with Loki and Sylvie as well.
Okay, Chris, tell us what you got and make your case.
All right. I feel that to say episode 5 being the best episode is kind of a obvious choice, and I don't feel that does enough service to the series. For me personally, I go with episode 2, The Variant. The reason being is because in episode 2, that is the first actual time Loki attempts to become a hero, because he is now actually trying to find out who the Variant is. And there's that great scene where he steals Casey's salad, or no, Mobius' salad and Casey's drink, or vice versa, and he just destroys the salad.
Oh, no, not the milk.
Exactly, and that's the very first time you see Loki getting legitimate praise and compliments from Mobius, and he's like a child. He's so happy about that. He's happy that he's right. He's happy that he discovers that Sylvia is hiding in these Nexus events, or not the Nexus events. It is Nexus events, right? These apocalypses. Anyway, yeah. And the very first time he experiments that is with Pompeii, and we get to just kind of see Loki being Loki and using his abilities to solve a problem versus having to do a complete character shift and a change. On top of it, this episode has the balls to have a season finale ending in episode 2 with Sylvie bombing the timeline and the TVA, essentially. That sort of thing, if you're watching any other show, is usually reserved for the end. And the fact that they pulled that card only in episode 2 already made me go, whoa, they pulled the stops out. What the hell could they possibly do next? And everything else after that was just building upon that. But the fact they went that far in episode 2 alone was already enough to have me hooked and saying, okay, you got me. Rather than getting to episode 5, you're getting all these wonderful fan services, which is great, and seeing all these characters and these possible what-ifs and whatnot, and you're already down in the mystery and everything. You're getting all this crazy stuff happening in episode 2, and you're like, what else could they possibly have planned? In fact, people asked me when episode 2 came out, how do you think the series is going in? And I just threw my hands up in the air and said, I have no goddamn idea. And I like that.
Okay. All right, guys. In the immortal words of Captain America, smash. Just go for it. Fight it out.
I think episode 2 does have some excellent beats in terms of character development, but I do think that it tends to get bogged down a fair bit. The minutia of life at the TVA and like the investigation and procedural aspects of it were pretty
But
slow
that's what
for me.
actually makes it interesting, is because you're getting to see this whole new side. You're getting to see this whole new world that we have never been introduced to before prior to episode 1 of the season. And I feel that in terms of getting bogged down, yeah, you have wonderful character development in episode 5 where Loki and Sylvie are basically just palling out. But it's a lot of downtime. And for, by the way, the end of time where everything is essentially unwritten, it was kind of visually boring that most of it was basically in just a greenish, grayish wasteland rather than having it be as colorful as, say, Lamentus. So visually, there was a lot less to digest, and they had to, substantiate us and our appetite through all of these, cameos.
Visually, you're saying there's a lot less to it digest, but in the TVA, it's basically an office building. The cafeteria scene you're talking about is a cafeteria. This wasteland is much more visually interesting than that. Even the scene with Pompeii was very theatrical, and I thought had some of the worst effects of the whole show.
I know, but I'm not focusing on the Pompeii thing. I'd rather focus more on the performance and how, again, yeah, the Pompeii thing, absolutely. It's a tiny little scene, but it's the point of Loki being right. And for a character who has been told now by, the universe that your whole sole purpose of existing is to make other people succeed, he is now getting validation for himself by being right and doing the right thing. And these are the first times we see this happen to him. Those are more poignant and more powerful, I believe, than already in episode 5.
Then he still makes the quote-unquote wrong choice at the end of the episode by going through the Tempad portal after Sylvie. I still think he's not making the right choice yet. He's getting excited that he can do something useful, but
I think he made the right choice by going after Sylvie at the end of that episode, because first off, we as an audience had no idea what the hell was going on, so it left us on one hell of a cliffhanger that was very hard to sit and wait a whole goddamn 7 days for episode 3 to come out to let us know, oh, he did do the right thing. He wasn't going there to assist in bombing the TVA. He wanted to tag along and see what the hell was going on. But for the most part, it was up in the air and allowed for fans to interact and debate whether or not he was good or bad still. And I personally felt that he was trying to be good, even though by following Sylvie. Other people can argue he wasn't, and that was the beauty of episode 2. The fact that you had this massive cliffhanger so soon in the series when lesser series would have waited and dragged that out to, the very end.
I feel like it's not as much of a cliffhanger as you're letting on. The bombing of the timeline is a note there, but the revealing of Sylvie was kind of a gimme for anybody who's read comics.
Well, we knew that we were never going to be shocked by the revealing of Sylvie. That wasn't I was never like, oh my god.
Then why did they spend so much time building up to it with like all the puppet people she was controlling throughout that sequence? There's literally like 10 minutes of him walking around this department store and interacting with these things like they're trying to tease this thing out. But that was completely unnecessary to build up this suspense. We already had the suspense before that scene.
I view that more as multitasking. Sylvie was puppeting people while she was setting off her charges to get everything going, and then finally, once she was done, she had time to go face Loki. That's classic writing 101. You don't want to blow your wad too soon, so you have a couple of people come. So also it demonstrated how much power Sylvie had over people with her enchanting. We didn't really know what enchanting was because we hadn't really seen it prior to, okay, fine, maybe the Loki staff in Avengers, but you're finally getting to see how formidable she could be as a character.
I still think there was plenty of time wasted in those scenes. But
yeah, but there's also plenty of time wasted in the wasteland in between them going to enchant Eliath or them coming from the attack and then them going to enchant Eliath. There's a lot of downtime there. And yeah, you could say that's character development, but it's also a lot of downtime, and it's just them sitting on a grassy field with a gray sky, and he puts a blanket around her, and that's kind of it. And the other thing that bothered me about that is this growing relationship that he had that was ultimately going to turn sexual, which I personally feel would have been a terrible idea. I don't think that for Marvel's first bisexual, gender-fluid character, his first on-screen kiss should be with a female version of himself.
Okay, but that wasn't in this episode.
No, it wasn't, but it was leading to that because you kept seeing him getting closer and
Sure.
closer to her physically. And that
Yeah.
itself creates a problem which would later come down the line. At least with episode 2, if Disney said, "Hey, we're only giving you 2 episodes of Loki, deal with it," and they just gave us episode 1 and 2, that's enough to substantiate. We're like, "Holy shit, there's a lot going on. I want to know more." Versus episode 5, okay, well, all we have left now is what's on the other side, what's in that cloud. Or castle, sorry.
I will respectfully disagree.
Well, that's the point of this! Guys?
All right, okay. Sorry, I got so enamored in there. I was just, you got to feel the palpable tension. All right, so we've, time to deliberate, guys. Judges, how are we feeling? Let's start with Rohit. Rohit, who are you leaning towards in this?
Oh, it's interesting. With the choices outlined, I was in the camp of episode 5, but throughout the entire debate, Notarile really won me over on episode 2 because he emphasized specific points that really made episode 2 stand out. One is Loki's sense of self-validation, the mystery element, and sort of the unique cliffhanger moment. Now, personally, I'm in favor of episode 5, but in the context of this debate, I think Notarile made the better argument for what was the best episode of season 1.
Okay, so that's one vote for Notarile. Let's see, Connor. Connor, where are you leaning, buddy?
Oh man, how am I supposed to grade this? Because, well, I guess I should start because so I thought there was like only one even decent episode of Loki. I thought the show on the whole was pretty darn bad. And I thought episodes 2 and 5 were about as bad as each other. So I really have no dog in this fight. So based solely on the arguments, though, I'm wanting to lean more towards Chris here. However, he did pivot quite a bit and engage, I think, very slightly in like a sort of Mott and Bailey fallacy here and there. But that being said, I don't think Gulliver was able to catch him on those. So I think I'll have to go Chris here.
Thank you.
Okay, I myself, I mean, obviously my vote doesn't count right because clearly, Chris already got the point. But just for argument's sake, just to get it in there. Yeah, I was really impressed with this fight. I think you guys are on really great even footing. I think you both made quite the case for yourselves, but ultimately, I got to tell you, I think Gulliver really stood his ground. I'm gonna go with Gulliver for this first round. Again, Chris gets the point.
Dragon, E2.
All right, so that's Notarile on the board with 1 point. Good fight, gentlemen. Good fight. All right, that brings us to round numero dos. Okay, now that Black Widow has finally come out this month, and the story's complete, I'm feeling a wee bit nostalgic for all the adventures with Black Widow over these over 10-year period of MCU films. So, what was Black Widow's best moment in the entire MCU? All right, Gulliver, what do you got?
My choice would be the interrogation scene with Loki in the first Avengers film. Okay. So, are we starting arguments, or is just?
Let's just shorthanded this game. Let's you guys say what your pick is, and then just go into the opening statement. So go on.
Okay. To me, this is a really important moment because Loki at this point has essentially showed up everybody he's encountered, and they've done a complicated job in trying to get him to this point at all, but they still know there's a lot going on. Black Widow does something here that she is very good at and is something that I don't think any other Avenger could have pulled off, which is manipulating him into getting him to spill the beans. Loki is a master manipulator. This is something that we've seen in 2 previous movies at this point. But we want to we get to see that Black Widow is also a master manipulator, and get to see how she can dissect that, lure him into a false sense of security by playing the weak creature for him to attack in order to get the information out of him. I think it's a fantastic moment because it really shows the depth of her skill and her ability. There are many other fantastic moments, but this is the one that made me really fall in love with the character in the MCU.
All right, Chris, why don't you tell us about your moment?
I believe my favorite moment for Black Widow is probably her very first big fight scene at the end of Iron Man 2. I feel that for that's our first impression of Black Widow. Prior to that, we saw her as Natasha or Natalie when she was, assisting for Tony, and then she comes out in the soup in the donut shop. But this is the first time we see her throw down, and we see her taking on multiple guys at once and not even breaking a sweat. Was she overly dolled up for this? Absolutely. I'm not going to deny the objectification that was put in this scene. But in terms of a character moment, for her to last beyond a single film and be a character that is worthy of then having her own prequel movie and being a huge mainstay of the MCU, I believe this particular moment is it, because it showed that this, woman is beating the ever-loving crap out of I don't know how many guys. And if there's one thing that, people love are badass hallway fight scenes. Darth Vader, Daredevil, Luke Cage. You go into kung fu movies like Old Boy or Ong Bak, and you just see these people eviscerating guy after guy, henchman after henchman. And I think that this is an amazing scene for this particular character that is standout and enough to have people go, I want that action figure. I want to be that for Halloween. Black Widow is an awesome character. When can we see more of her?
All right, boys, let's fight.
I think the moment that was listed in the original response was the pepper spray at the end, which
yes, the pepper spray
I feel like is the cherry on top of the man wrote a scene for a woman aspect of this that you were describing before, because this is a tool that makes no sense for Black Widow to be using, the pepper spray. She has literally dozens of other weapons and literally dozens of other better moments in the MCU.
But it's one of the most memorable moments of the MCU is what I'm saying, because there's a still image for it.
I would not have remembered it had it not been brought up for this argument.
Okay, well, as far as your particular scene is concerned, I feel that the whole, that's your play, get Banner to turn into the Hulk, like, that was already alluded to at the very beginning when Bruce boarded the helicarrier saying, that's a great idea, bring me on board. Like, we already knew that was a dumbass idea, and if Loki's plan was to get Banner to Hulk out, like, I don't exactly feel that as a huge gotcha moment for Black Widow. That wasn't enough for her to be, so smart that she stumped Loki, that she just outsmarted him, outwitted him, because she got him to think one way and then she pivoted and on the other. It's just, it's a nice scene, and it's a funny moment because you see Loki reacting, and you're like, so that's your play, and she completely changes and walks out, and she's very cold with that.
It's the first time his facade has broken, though, in that entire film. In that entire
film, yes, the first time his facade is broken. But again, in terms of a huge gotcha moment, we're like, is that enough? If this is her only scene in the entire MCU, is that enough for her to come back in the next movie is the question.
Absolutely.
Well, the hallway fight, I think, is plenty to have her come back in the next film as well, because you see a very strong female character beating the crap out of guys. Sure, I said the pepper spray scene because that was how I remembered it, because I haven't watched Iron Man 2 in a while, but I boned up for this argument after I said that. But as I'm saying, in that entire scene
I feel like any female character can punch a guy or do a kick off of a wall. That's something.
No, I know, but the amount of stunt work that went into that scene involving all the actors and professionals.
The strong
choreographing and doing this is a beauty to watch.
But if you're comparing it, because the question is about the best moment in the entire MCU, if you're comparing it to her other action sequences in the MCU, then that is not anywhere near her best fight sequence.
No,
Not
but I
even
believe that
close.
first impressions are the most important, and I can't think of another Black Widow fight that was as standout as that particular fight, because that was just her throwing down and kicking ass. If I had to look at another
I can
Black Widow
think of
fight,
3 in her standalone movie, not to mention
I didn't see the standalone
3 or
movie,
4
so we're
more.
not debating
Okay.
that. I'm saying we're talking about prior
Sure.
to standalone movie. What exactly has she been able to really
But
do?
that wasn't the question. The question was, what's the best moment in the entire MCU?
Well, then why
To
are we
me-
not discussing the Black Widow movie then?
You're changing the you're moving the goalposts there, but
No, because you said the best Black Widow moment in the entire MCU. If you're saying the entire MCU now counts the Black Widow movie, we should then be discussing the Black Widow movie. I wouldn't have brought this part up, but I haven't seen the Black Widow movie, so I'm not up to speed on that. So I can't debate about something I haven't seen yet. Now, can I?
No, but again, moving the goalposts. This is the reason that I like this the best is because it shows off a unique aspect of her skill. The reason you like this the best is because she punched guy and make him fall down. And that is
No, I
that
don't
is
think
not,
it
that
was
is
that.
not enough.
For you to equate that to just the typical male gaze, I think is sexist for you to even say in the first place, good sir. But as much as I love a character outsmarting another character, I believe
you mentioned
that
at the beginning of this that she's depicted in a sexist way. I was agreeing.
I'm aware
with
of that.
your
And
opinion.
I'm aware of how they dolled her up specifically for this. And I know that if the movie was made now, she'd be looking a little different and a little bit more modest. I'm well aware of what happened circa 2009. But I'm saying, in terms of introducing a character into a franchise, this was her debut. And I always believe that first impressions are the strongest. And in spite of the male gaze that was thrusted upon Scarlett Johansson in this particular scene, I felt it was still a standout scene enough to have her to have her warrant to be in the rest of the MCU as a very important and significant character, to eventually lead to having her this moment where she stumps Loki. I don't feel that we would have had that moment had she not had her moment in Iron Man 2.
Well, I can tell you that I've been on a Disney debate before where I've made a similar argument about how this moment wouldn't exist without this moment and been shot down by the judges. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is not correct. And I'm going to disagree with that.
All I know is that bad characters always fall by the wayside. So if the character was not strong enough to survive the first film,
Why do we
they
still have
don't end up
Star-Lord then?
I know. Not every decision is a smart decision, but for the most part, bad characters don't make it.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna cast the first vote here. This is a really interesting fight. Did not went some direction I didn't expect, but really interesting though. You know what? I think Notarile really was really digging in there this fight. I think it really came out strong with with the opening argument. Now again, I'm really on the fence because I think Gulliver really stood his ground yet again on the in response and throwing a lot of Notarile's kind of openers back at him. I think it was close, but you know what? I was really impressed by the pugnacious kind of fighting style of Notarile this fight. So I'm gonna give Notarile the first vote here. So
Thank you.
So all right. So Rohit, who do you vote for?
So what's interesting is that both of y'all picked moments not from Russo directed movies, but that's besides the point. I think with the two moments that are presented, I think Gulliver made a stronger argument for his moment being reflective of something unique to Black Widow and something that can be necessarily replicated. I think Notarile, like his point about this is a grand tradition of badass hallway fights. I think that kind of hurts the argument because then Natasha's just part of like the moment he highlighted is just part of a trend. Whereas Gulliver's moment highlights a specific skill set and a specific unique quality to Natasha that makes her stand out from the other Avengers and just makes her more than just an action girl. And I think Notarile's like thinking about fight choreography and all that. Like, I mean, that's cool and all, but I think Gulliver really emphasized how really it's kind of more of a badass thing to outsmart a god of mischief that's always trying to manipulate or pull one over on everyone than say just fighting a bunch of dudes in a hallway. And so my vote goes to Gulliver for the Loki Natasha scene.
Okay, that makes Mr. Nielsen our tiebreaker here. Connor.
I love Scarlett Johansson.
We all do.
So my pick is going to go for Gulliver. I think he was able to get on the offense early, and a lot of the discussion was kind of built around the even like was built around defending the action sequence in Iron Man 2. I think that he did a really good job of, saying that that was not only a solid character defining moment for Black Widow, but it also made her case for why she's an Avenger. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that. Go.
Okay, so that's okay. Both guys have a point on the board. Gulliver just got a point for this round. Notarile got a point for the first round. And before we go any further, I'm going to read some comments. We have some live viewership. Let's shout them out. Okay, so we have our pal Jacob Weil in the comments. Kind of running point there. It's kind of, let's see. He's getting into some conversations with Atomic Beast. Atomic Beast earlier asked, like, do you think Loki will lead or at least co-lead the Avengers? I find it highly unlikely, Atomic Beast, but who knows? We had the whole Revengers thing. You never know what's going to happen. All right, let's see. LEB, which I don't know if it's our other commenter, Honeybee, under a recent retheming of her name or not. But regardless, LEB, hello. Says, hey, mates.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was. She changes her name quite often.
It's a Lord of the Rings ER fan. Saying, I like Gulliver's argument for many reasons, but one is he's not using... character attacks.
Yeah, and guys, I just want to point that out. Can we just for future reference, just refrain from that? We're not here to pick
Sorry about that
character. Yeah, it's all good.
Hear the moment, guys. Hear the moment.
Put down on that.
Yeah. To quote Ultron, sometimes we do ugly things in the real world to get the win.
That's not what this show's for, guys. So
that's
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's see. Jedi Knight. Jedi Knight. I'm glad he's here tonight. We have some pre-submitted questions. One from Jedi Knight, so we'll get to that later in the speed round. Let's see. He says, "I vote for the Avengers scene." So kind of funny how that worked out too. All right, and OAW Entertainment. Oh snap! Connor's in here. Nice. He is here.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, and LEB is Honeybee. All right, guys.
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to I just want to jump in and say you guys have been really, really great so far. So just really excited about this one. Let's go ahead.
Okay. Round number 3. So Disney Plus and these trailers lately they've been killing it in the advertising and the TV department, hyping us up for what's coming up next in Phase 4 and beyond in some cases. So it brings about the question: which upcoming MCU project should be most anticipated? So with the exception of Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, because we're all looking forward to that. Nothing more needs to be said about that. We're all looking forward to that. So we're all looking for that little linchpin. So I ask our players here, starting with Gulliver, what say you, sir? What are you what should be most anticipated?
So this is a trick question. The answer is, of course, Multiverse of Madness.
Of course.
But because we are following this premise, I'm going to say Shang-Chi. I think the Marvel TV shows that we've gotten have really done a fantastic job of setting up what I'm thinking of as the seedy underbelly of the Marvel universe. We're getting the aspect of underground terrorism, the remnants of Hydra, and all of the stuff that we're getting in Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're getting the seedy underbelly of manipulating behind the scenes in Loki from He Who Remains. We're getting the elements of the seedy underbelly of magic with Agatha, and presumably that's going to lead right into Multiverse of Madness. I'm really excited for Shang-Chi because I think we're going to see even more of that element brought to it, where we're going to get the various different gangs associated with the 10 rings. And we're going to see a lot more of that seedy underbelly start to make connections. Beyond that, just those connections, Shang-Chi is a fantastic character that has a humongous opportunity to grow in the MCU. His depiction across the comics has varied wildly. The incarnations at the beginning, let's face it, were pretty racist. But the incarnations in more modern days through the 90s, 2000s, and beyond have really been some really interesting developed characters that have branched out in a lot of different ways. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity for us to get to know a new type of hero that we haven't really seen in the MCU before. I love wuxia films, or wushu films if you prefer. And I cannot wait to see a Marvel take on that style of film. The fantastical elements with the dragons and the temple lion guards and stuff like that we're seeing in the trailer, I'm sure are just tiny hints of what we're going to get. Plus Wong is in it, so I mean that's cherry.
All right, Mr. Notarile, what say you, sir?
I realized that I should have said something more like Moon Knight or Thor: Love and Thunder, but I had said Loki. I spoke too soon, so I'll defend it. I believe that season 2 of Loki should be the most anticipated thing because we're going to get a lot more answers, and it's kind of like when you're watching a TV series and there is the main story arc, and then there are the throwaway episodes, the one-offs. I feel that Loki is right now really digging into the main premise. When you watch like phase 1 and 2, and at the end of certain movies, Thanos would pop up, or there'd be something that would be related to the Infinity Stones. You're like, ooh, what's this about? And then finally the tentpole movies come, and you get a real taste of that. I feel that with Loki, that's where we're at right now. And after, consuming, years worth of TV, I really feel that I don't want to deal with the one-offs right now. I kind of want to deal with the main storyline and find out what that's about and how stuff is going to be rectified. I want those answers. And after coming off Loki, I want to get answers to my story. So I'm looking forward to Loki season 2 more than anything at this point, apart from Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
All right, boys, charge at each other like it's an airport fight scene. Here we go. Let's fight it out.
Well, I'm going to start this one off. First off, you had said that you love wushu films and you're really excited to see Marvel's take on it, and I think that right there is a terrible thing because as much as Marvel has a really great track record of outperforming at least Warner Brothers and other superhero-based properties, it's still Marvel and Disney. And they still make a lot of mistakes. And I feel that they may not be able to truly capture the essence of, a martial arts film. I don't feel like they're going to be able to truly display the culture the way that we wanted to. And I think we're going to get more of a watered down version of it or some weird amalgamation of it so that
it's got to be better than they did with Iron Fist because holy fuck.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm not going to, I know. But thankfully, I believe that Marvel is basically disowning Iron Fist. So we at least have that to look forward to. But I feel that the problem is everything is made essentially for white people. And as much as I would love for Shang-Chi to be the sort of movie that, this is going to embrace Asian culture and this is going to show a side of the world we've never really seen before, I don't think they're going to go the extra mile, in my opinion. And I feel that they're going to play it way too safe.
I would disagree with that for one very specific reason. And that reason is Tony Leung, who is going to be
They have Awkwafina in the movie. They're playing it too safe.
But Tony Leung is an extremely celebrated Hong Kong cinema actor, probably most famous for his role in Hard Boiled, which is a fantastic movie if anyone hasn't seen it. But he doesn't sign on to do just every movie. I've watched his career as long as it's existed, and he's worked with John Woo a lot, but he is really picky about the roles he chooses. I don't think he would sign on unless he had serious faith that this was going to be.
Sometimes studios do bait and switches where they tell you it's going to be one thing and it turns out to be the other, and I feel that as much as you want to say, oh yeah, he's going to be he has, a really great sense of this and that, I have no doubt he's probably going to be fantastic in the film. The problem is the film itself may not go the distance that it needs to go.
At this point, we're arguing hypotheticals of,
I know,
but
not
the movie is going to be good.
Stuff that should be anticipated.
There's absolutely nothing about season 2 of Loki that, I have much interest in beyond what happens to Loki next. I don't know that we've forgotten this character development of him, learning what it means to be himself outside of somebody else's, outside of somebody else's opinion of him. But what he becomes beyond that, we have no idea. it's all completely up in the air. There's no like lead in that connects to the rest of the MCU. It's
No, but
just
Loki
it's
is
going to be
basically quarterbacking
connected
the rest
to
of Phase
whatever
4 at
else
this
they put
point
together.
with what's going to happen. And I think that is a major responsibility to put the whole multiverse of madness essentially on Loki and say, hey, guess what? We made this mess, clean it up. I think that creates for a more what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting story. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to know how they're going to deal with this because now Loki's
what
in the middle of
elements specifically of Loki are you excited about? Because I've been able to name the fantasy elements, the seedy underbelly, the fantastic fight choreography, the fantastic
I want to know more
acting.
about Kang and how Kang is going to come in, and I want to see how Sylvie is going to be either redeemed or condemned. I want to know if they're going to fucking deal with whether or not that it should be a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship. Is Loki going to get to bang a bunch of princes at any point? I want to know. I'd like to see that. I want to know exactly where they're going to go with all this.
Internet.
What?
You and the rest of the internet.
I know. I'm just saying. I believe that if you're going to make a bisexual character, have him be bisexual as all hell. Have him in an orgy of just guys and dudes, and throw the alligator in there for fun. Just do whatever you want. But I'm saying, like, these are things that we need to see. I want to see Mobius get his jet ski. You know, like these are things that we need as a society right now. Mobius on a jet ski. How could you not?
What if I told you that it's possible Mobius appears on a jet ski in Shang-Chi? Since we're spinning wild things about our stuff, I'm just going to say that that's something that could happen.
But I'm saying, if you're saying that technically counts as a preview for season 2, which means that season 2 should be more anticipated in the hands of Shang-Chi, based on your argument alone, good sir.
I disagree that that's what I was saying.
If you bring in a character from another movie, you're basically teasing that movie. That's what they do every time at the end with all of their stingers at the end of the movie.
Ed, you're done with the standalone stuff. You want it to be more connected.
No, I know, but it's still in the title. Because if I buy a Hands of Shang-Chi DVD, that will still be in the movie. And it's going to say, hey, guess what? More Loki Season 2. Which means I went... And how many times have you seen people go buying a ticket for a movie just to see the trailer for another movie and then leave? That has happened before. You remember The Phantom Menace?
This has gone wildly off track.
My point is, name a crappy movie that came out in 1999 that had The Phantom Menace as a trailer in front of it, and I guarantee you its sales were way better than it should have been. Because people were buying tickets to see these crappy movies just to see the trailer for Phantom Menace. Now, I am not saying by any means that Shang-Chi is a crappy movie, but I am saying that if there is a chance that Mobius has a jet ski in the hands of Shang-Chi, Loki fans will go see it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we're going to end the round. So, I'll tell you where I'm leaning. Okay, so I'm actually, I think Notarile presented the stronger argument. I think Gulliver had some great fundamentals in there, like the whole Tony Lung of it all. Am I saying that right, Tony Lung?
Yeah, Tony Lung.
Lung, thank you. Tony Lung of it all. But then again, I just love when Notarile came in there. Well, there's Aquafina. Yeah. I will admit, though, and this is just a little helpful hint there. I'm going to vote for Notarile, but I do want to caution Notarile that I could kind of sense he was. I think he was really going off track with Fan Menace towards the end. I think it was. I think he was starting to lose some footing.
Point, damn it!
It's impossible to respond to nonsense. But
Gulliver brought up an incredible what if scenario, so I had to address said what if scenario.
Fair enough. Just don't want to go veer off. You want to branch on the timeline too. Do whatever you got to do. I mean, I'm just saying this in terms. Well, again, take it for what you will. Okay, so I'm voting Notarile. Connor, who are you voting for?
I'm voting Gulliver on this one.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, he won it with the Mobius on a jet ski argument. So.
All right. Rohit, tiebreaker.
Here's where I come down on this is that I think Notarile is like, oh, I want to see this, and I guess if you watch Loki and like you really like how the show was, and I really liked it, and I want to see more season 2. I think Gulliver emphasized the elements that are new to the MCU And thus, in my mind, I'm more anticipated because it's not more what I want. It's more stuff that I've never seen before, and I get to experience Marvel do their take on with the Wushu formula. And Notarile's point about making content for white people and all that, I feel like the fact that the Marvel Studios has made Black Panther, that's made $1 billion, I think that point kind of just doesn't hold as much weight to me as the point about the cast and the overall new corner of the universe that we would be seeing Shang-Chi. So Gulliver wins the debate for me.
Okay, so that's Gulliver with 2 points on the board. And gentlemen, we've reached the end of 3 rounds. Now, before we go to the coin, I want to read some comments. So we had some good stuff here. We had, let's see, so Jedi Knight, earlier he suggested, I believe, Moon Knight, right? So I was trying to...
I would have had a much harder time arguing against Moon Knight because I am such a sucker for Moon Knight.
Oh yeah, so we have I believe Lord of the Rings CR fans asking what's Secret Invasion, just in case that didn't get. Oh well, they actually did get clarified with Jedi. Thank you, Jedi Knight, for clarifying that. Basically, summarizing the whole scroll of it all with Secret Invasion. That's good. All right.
Mention if you don't get a point or you lose a point.
If you get heads, you win a point. You get tails, you lose a point. You don't have to flip it if you don't want to.
Nah, I'm not going to flip.
Okay, Gulliver's opting not to flip it. Notarile, do you want to flip it?
What do I do if I flip it?
If you flip it and it lands heads, Tiki, not the coin, not the watch. Anyway, so sorry. If you flip it, you could get a point. If it lands tails, you risk losing a point. Right now, you have 1 on the board.
Sure, I'll flip it.
Okay, that's a gambling man there for you. That's the gambit. Hey, and look, fortune favors the bold, my friend. It's now tied up 2-2. All right, so folks,
Greg, we're not going to need the coin anymore, right?
Nope. Okay. All right, we are now entering officially the speed round. Now, the way this works, gentlemen, is it's going to be a timed version of the main round. So we have a stopwatch, as you can see. Basically, it's 30 seconds followed by a 15-second rebuttal. Whoever speaks first goes first. The audience will definitely help call rounds. They can throw out where they're leaning and stuff, and there are certain audience submitted questions. And we're also taking live questions, folks. You want to pitch us some live questions? We may be inclined to use them, depending, how long our show goes on for in terms of the back and forth. If we win really fast, who knows? So we'll effort to work in as many audience questions as we can. Again, it's kind of a race to 5 points. Both players have 2 on the board. This is the round that separates the men from the boys. Things can really take a turn. Jacob Wild in the comments, he's played the speed round multiple times. Sometimes he's come out on top, sometimes not so lucky. So it can really change from who's in the lead. Which right now it's tied up, so we'll see how it happens. Okay, we're going to start things off with what we call a wheel question. I'm not saying it with a lisp. No, I'm saying a wheel question. In this case, the Wheel of Marvel. All right, so here's what it is, folks. Now, you guys on this wheel are the MCU films from Iron Man to Endgame, as in 22 out of the existing 24 MCU films. Okay, what that both of you have seen. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel, and you're going to be assigned. We're going to start with Gulliver. You decide. You want to spin first or second because you won the last round?
I'll go first. Why not?
Okay. Gulliver's going to spin first, and he's going to be assigned a movie, and then Notarile is going to spin, and I'm going to tell you what the question is. You're going to have to work with it. All right. So Gulliver's got Captain Marvel.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see what Notarile is going to get once we, kind of adjust the wheel here. The wheels of progress. All right, let's do a little spin here. Where it stops, nobody knows. And here we go. Thor Ragnarok. Okay.
All right.
Notarile is going to get Thor Ragnarok. I'm going to tell you guys the question. I want the two of you to pitch a what if from the selected MCU film. Given that the What If show is happening August 11th, I think it's all in our minds. Looking very forward to it, so it brings about the question. So, again, we'll pitch a What If from Gulliver's case, Captain Marvel, and Notarile's case.
Give me an example, not from mine, but like an example. Like, okay, let's just say Iron Man 1. Give me a what if example so I know how to do this.
Yeah, do you want me using the existing one or just make up one?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
let's use the actual What If show, for example. Okay, what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark from the shrapnel?
All right, so where anything goes in these what ifs is what we're saying.
Anything goes. Just it has to happen within the movie, though. I mean, you can pull from anywhere, like the Killmonger.
Right.
Again, anything goes. Just it has to take place like it's a what if from your movie.
Okay.
So I think mine is going to be what if Carol stayed on Earth?
Okay. Yeah, we can't start until Notarile figure out his too. Sorry.
I'm trying to think. Ragnarok was a good movie. I can't think of anything that could go differently. All right. Let's see. What if? What if Korg had led the revolution before?
Okay, wait, I'm sorry. When you say before, do you mean like in the first place?
In the first place, yeah. Because Korg, what if people actually turned out for Korg's revolution?
Oh, okay, there you go. All right, okay. So, well, basically, what if Korg's revolution went well?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, and again, so guys, what you're probably going to want to do, again, use the time however you see fit, but I imagine you might want to use the 30 seconds to basically make your pitch, but then respond to it with the 15 seconds. But again, do whatever you will with your 30 seconds, and then your 15-second rebuttal. Okay, so again, when you start speaking, that's when the timer goes. All right, Gulliver, starting with you.
So my pitch is what if Carol stayed on Earth? I think we would follow Carol Danvers, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or SWORD, depending on how things go with that. I think we would see a lot more cool covert ops and exciting adventures with Nick Fury and her introduction with the Avengers much earlier in the series. I think there would be some really interesting dynamics to have, another powerful character there with some history in the MCU before the other characters. That might really change the dynamics of some of the other films.
Okay, it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait for it. Okay, so my pitch is that what if Korg had actually had people turn up for his revolution? Well, most likely he overthrew the government and toppled the Grand Master and probably assumed his position as the leader of Sakaar. But because Korg is such a very nice guy to hang around and everything, right, he decided that everybody would be living in a democratic society. By the time Thor got sucked over there, he would land in a Zenla-type planet filled with these rock creatures and everything, just having fun. And I think it would be a nice departure from your typical Marvel movie because you can actually make a musical out of it. Now what?
Now it's back to Gulliver when he starts speaking for his 15-second rebuttal, so...
In these rebuttals, we have to. What do we do?
Well, just argue why yours is better than the other guys.
Oh,
Now
okay.
you both know what your pitch is.
Okay.
I like Korg as much as the next guy, but I don't know that he's necessarily a strong enough showpiece to carry a whole movie. He's very fun, but I think he works best as like a side character who can be that comic relief and have those moments of levity in a more serious play.
Okay, actually, what the best? Where am I going? Start me over. Hang on.
Okay. Hold on. Reset it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. The thing about Korg is he wouldn't just be the main character. He would be the one ruling Sakaar by the time Thor showed up. You could easily turn him into a fascist dictator, but have it come through this happy-go-lucky type character where ultimately everything is amazing and wonderful. And if you disagree with me, I'll fucking kill you, man. You don't want that.
Okay. All right. Let me. I'm just gonna peruse the comments here, and then I'll cast the ruling on this one. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I'm seeing some. OAW. He's throwing some Ragnarok. Ragnarok was a good movie. Oh boy. Okay.
Taika Waititi, he's a great director.
No, he is. I mean,
He
some
is.
people are come down the anti-Ragnarok side, but yeah, everyone's got an opinion. All right, let's see. Okay. Jedi Knight says my answer to the prompt would be: what if Loki kept the throne of Asgard, and what if Carol was taken by the Skrulls? Those are two interesting ideas. I think we kind of saw how when Carol was taken by Skrulls. I mean, we kind of got a glimpse of that in the movie, so maybe not so much the second one, but all right. Okay, anyway, so here's where I'm coming down. I was really dazzled by Gulliver's pitch. I mean, what if Carol said? I really didn't see that coming either with the Captain Marvel at all. But yeah, what if she did stay? That really would change up the game and everything, and we kind of would solve the whole where was Captain Marvel the whole time. Yeah, we would fix it if we did that. It would be interesting. So this one, I'm voting Gulliver, which means Gulliver gets the point. So it's 3-2 right now. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now let's go with a pre. Okay. Let's go with a pre-submitted question next. So in advance.
Wait. So
Yeah.
when I came to those, you're the only one who answers that.
Yeah,
question.
like I'll toss it to you guys on other questions and stuff. Like basically, it's a little bit more like less three-pronged as when we get in the speed round. It's more like
Cool.
the people who like the pre-submit. Like for example, Jedi Knight who's in the comments right now. He's going to call this next one. Jedi Knight, hope you're listening, buddy. Okay. All right. Jedi Knight submitted this question for you guys. What Marvel hero should the MCU introduce next? Like who we haven't seen yet. That we know for like if you're saying Blade would not count because we know we're getting Blade. Like some like the ones that had not been like officially announced.
Give me a second.
Okay.
All right, I got one.
Okay, what do you got in there, really?
Silver Surfer.
Okay. Silver Surfer.
I'm still thinking here.
Okay. Well, while you're thinking, I'm going to shout out Jacob Wild. He had a good what if, too. He said, what if Thor went for the head? Yeah, there's a good one for you. Yeah.
Considering, this is Connor speaking, by the way, audience. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Connor.
I was thinking of like, some of these what if questions are a little that they've said for episodes. I'm of course gonna wait to reserve judgment until the episode, but they're a little I would say underwhelming to me, largely. But so I was joking that one of the what if episodes of season 2 is going to be what if Bruce Banner kept the purple pants. In the Incredible Hulk. What if he kept the stretchy purple pants?
Would have been cool if he kept the purple pants. I would have dug that.
That scene, I feel like the acting was directed by Wes Anderson. Because
Ed Norton was there, so I buy it.
wait, hold on. You want
Can
to
I-
get me inside of a
Okay, hold on. We got a response.
Oh my god.
Can I choose the Young Avengers? Is that allowed?
I think we should keep it to one character, Gulliver.
Oh, dang it.
Sorry. I mean, you can pick one of them. Jedi Knight suggested, what if the snap survivors were reversed? That's a good one I keep hearing all the time. That would be an interesting one, especially for season 2 of What If. Not to take away from the purple pants idea that Connor threw out.
It'd be tricky to do without Chadwick, though.
That was a great what if question, Jedi Knight. Yeah.
All right, Gulliver, any luck?
Sorry, my mic is falling apart here. Give me a second.
Sure. All right. I don't want to list all the suggestions from the comments because I don't want to just like do a gimme for Gulliver here.
What if Iron Fist was good?
Could Iron Fist have saved the Netflix deal?
Yeah, maybe Feige wouldn't treat the Netflix shows like an unwanted child.
Where
It's
are
like
we
you
on
have that
Howard the
team
Duck
of
show,
the
by the
dragons.
way?
All right, I'll go Nova.
Nova. Okay.
Okay, Gulliver's got Nova.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. So now, whenever you start speaking, Chris, that's when the timer starts for
Okay. So I'm pitching one, right?
Well, you're saying what Marvel hero should the MCU introduce next? Is
Okay,
the
okay.
answer the question why, why, and why is it better than go? Okay.
I believe that Silver Surfer would make the perfect movie to next be introduced because you have a whole new world. We've obviously seen alien worlds before, but now you have a one man dealing with this cosmic being that has been around since the beginning of time. We're going to get a lot more questions that are going to be asked, and we're going to get a lot more answers. We could see what happened to worlds before Galactus showed up. We could finally redeem Galactus from his shitty Fantastic Four movie, and if anything, get Keanu Reeves to play the Silver Surfer. You can't say no to that.
I'm going to go with Nova. I think we've gotten little teases of the Nova core already in the MCU, so I think there's a nice place to set it up there. We are definitely getting more cosmic Marvel in the next elements of seeing the Eternals and Multiverse of Madness, the Marvels coming out as well. So I think it would be really cool to see another aspect of that grow and expand the cosmic side of Marvel. A very interesting set of powers as well associated with Nova. So I think that would be a cool way to do it.
All right, what am I doing now?
Okay, now you have 15 seconds to basically either the lift yours or basically take down the other guys. Basically, use 15 seconds however you see fit to win the argument.
Okay. There's not much of a difference between Nova and Captain Marvel, essentially, whereas with Silver Surfer, at the very least, you have existentialism. You have a man who's pondering questions that have, been around since the beginning of time, and before that, he's dealing with all these types of things, whereas Nova, what is he? He's a superpowered being who can fly and punch stuff.
Watching a movie about a man contemplating things is significantly less interesting than watching a movie about a man battling in space with cool powers. Keanu is fine, but I would say Doug Jones did a fantastic job as Silver Surfer, even if the movie around him was trash.
Okay, now we're not going to call this one Jedi Knight is. Jedi Knight, tell us who sold you, who made the better argument on this one. So we're gonna give him about a minute to respond here. I mean, I know where I'm leaning, and I'll probably share that afterwards. Let me read some of the other pitches for ideas for this round. So, Werewolf by Night, OAW Entertainment says. Which, fun fact, Kevin Smith intimated that they are definitely doing Werewolf by Night for either Moon Knight or something in the future, like either that or Blade or something coming up.
I just want Moon Knight to say, Dracula, where's my fucking money?
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Would y'all like to plug anything while we're waiting?
Sure. You can find me at Blink500 on all social media as Blink500. Check out some of my fan films. There's literally something for everybody.
I exist solely on YouTube and Letterboxd as Connor Nielsen. Now that's a name that has 3 problem spots, so I'll spell it out for you guys. It's ConnerNielsen. So yeah, there you go. I review movies on Letterboxd, and I have a YouTube account that I haven't posted on in a few years. So check it out.
All right, Gulliver, you got anything?
You can find all of our work on hotchocolatemedia.net or on social media, Hot Chocolate Media.
Awesome. We have a ruling. Okay. The verdict is in. All right, so Jedi Knight says, it's hard because I like the philosophy argument for Silver Surfer and the world-building argument for Nova, but since they come from the same cosmic universe, I choose Silver Surfer, which means the point goes to Notarile, and yet again it is tied 3-3.
I'm hanging in there.
I would 100% watch a Silver Surfer movie. Definitely.
I actually made a Silver Surfer fan film, by the way, which is on my channel. You can watch it, and it does deal with the existentialism of being the Silver Surfer. But I firmly would say if there was a movie, he would have a lot of action too. I just like the idea of a very poetic style character pondering.
Oh, I do too. I was just trying to win the argument.
I know, and I have to destroy you.
All right. Okay. Let's go with one. Tiki, you there?
I'm here.
You good? Tiki, should we do the traditional question, and you know what I'm talking about, or should we do another audience poll?
We got to do the traditional one, man. We got to get it in there.
I know you want to get that one thing. There was always some other time just in case, but
All right.
Okay. So, okay. All right. So this is a traditional theme we work into all the debate shows essentially. Okay. There's a character people are dying to see, which brings about the question: which Muppet should be cast as Mephisto in the MCU?
Wait, I think I have to. I'm going to double check my Muppet roster here.
No Sesame Street characters. Just
no, I know.
Right.
Animal.
No.
All right. Well, Gulliver's going first with Animal.
I'm probably going to. Let me see here. I'm probably going to either lean towards Dr. Teeth or Dr. Teeth or Gonzo.
Well, you got to pick, buddy.
All right. I'm going to go with Gonzo.
All right, going with Gonzo the Great. All right. Whenever you're ready, Gulliver.
So the reason that I picked Animal is because Animal lulls you into a false sense of security with just thinking that he's this shallow, dumb guy, which he's not. He has layers beyond that. And Mephisto is the same way. He comes off as like cartoonishly evil and like, that he's clearly going for the most evil thing at all times, but he has all these machinations underneath. He has all these other aspects to him that are really interesting. I think that Animal would do that very well if you were trying to do, a Muppetized version of that character.
Okay. Just for the record, I jumped I didn't get to the. I didn't start right on time, so I'm going to give Notarile 3 extra seconds on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait for it. Okay. At no point has Animal in any of his incarnations been shown to be a Hannibal Lecter style, character who's well spoken. Gonzo, on the other hand, can. He's a versatile character. He's able to be calm, cool, collected, and fun as well. He's the sort of character who could lull you into a false sense of security, be very sweet and kind and nice, and then go, what? Gonzo on you! He's unpredictable, and he's crazy, and that, I think, would make him the perfect Mephisto, because, again, he's also an articulate character, whereas, Hannibal, that's right, I am Mephisto, it doesn't work. It does not work.
I will give you that Gonzo is charismatic, but I don't think I find him threatening in any way. I think that he is routinely shown to be the butt of the joke and the victim in the scenario rather than the victimizer, which would have to be for the chaos element of Animal as Mephisto.
But would that not make the perfect Mephisto? Because that Gonzo is such, a simple character, the butt of every joke, he is unassuming by default. Your definition for the perfect Mephisto is that he is unassuming. To say that Gonzo is an unassuming character is to say he's the perfect Mephisto because you think he's the joke when he's not.
Okay, I'm leaning a certain way, but you know what? Because we solidified us doing this one. Tiki, you're going to call this round.
Oh, Jesus.
Who won you?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Gulliver just based on the point of I agree that like Gonzo does not have a malicious bone in his body. And I have met the man. I have met the man face to face. So I would know. Like Gonzo the Muppet does not have a malicious bone in his body. I cannot buy him playing a villain. So for that reason, I do like Notarile's argument about the vocabulary. I do think that it would be something they'd have to work around. But But yeah, I don't know. It's like Animal's already red. Like, isn't Mephisto like a red devil guy? I don't know anything about Mephisto, but
After all those Mephisto jokes you keep making, you never even looked them up, did you?
no, I didn't. But yeah, I'm gonna give the point to Gulliver.
All right, a couple things. One, Connor had to leave us, so Tiki will be stepping in. Just as like another go-to
okay, no
opinion,
problem.
which we already kind of just did with Tiki. So there you go. Some suggestions we had in the comments. Jedi Knight says Gonzo did a great Darth Vader, which he did as Darth Nader. Sorry, you have to say it every time.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point.
Well, what Muppet should play Doctor Doom? Well, we already did our Muppet questions. We're not doing that. It's a fun idea, though. And honestly, I think Gonzo would be perfect for Muppet Doctor Doom.
I honestly, for Mephisto, I was hoping one of y'all would say Deadly.
I know. Okay, who suggests? A Jedi Knight suggested.
In the comments.
Jedi Knight earlier suggested Uncle Deadly, which I think that's a perfect Mephisto right there. And then,
just to interject in regards to which Muppet would play a great Doctor Doom, I think Sam the Eagle would be an unconventional but great choice for Doctor Doom.
Oh man,
I was debating Sam the Eagle for Mephisto just because of his hawk-looking style face. But I felt that Gonzo, again, because he was Darth Nader, he would have made. I should have brought that up, but I didn't.
Yeah, honestly, Chris, if you would have brought off Darth Nader, then I think that would have maybe slid it in your direction.
Yeah.
So.
All right. We had an audience submitted one that we don't. It's a non-familiar face. I want to highlight here. Just got to scroll up to it. Here's the one. Okay, 1 second. Hold on, I gotta make sure he's still here. Wait a minute, Tiki. This isn't Claudie, is it?
Who?
No Limit cartoonish Claude?
Yeah, that would be Claude. Yeah.
Huh. Well, you know what? Hopefully Claudie's still here.
Yeah, that's definitely Claude. Yeah.
Okay, well, Claude, if you're still here, say something. Regardless, I think we're going to use your questions to get in there. Okay. All right. Okay. So, our buddy Claude Karinga, aka No Limit cartoonist Claude. What
that's his Twitter handle?
All right, well, there you go. So, what Marvel Studios character and DC character would make for the best team up?
I'm going to go wild here just because I want to. It's going to be Deadpool and Mr. Mitsapiklik.
Okay, Mr. Mixie.
Surprised you didn't say Deadpool and Harley Quinn.
Also good.
It's too late. You can't say that.
No, I'm sticking with mine. I'm happy with mine.
I was going to say Deadpool and Harley Quinn, actually, but now... Now, when we say best team up, are we referring to these two have an adventure in a movie together, or is this just, why they would just work out as characters?
I mean, Chris, it's what it says on the screen. That's what we're working with right now. I'm
viewing this as a crossover movie.
Okay.
I'm viewing this as a tentpole film where you're going to see two of the biggest superheroes come together, and they are going to have an adventure together.
All right. Well, tell us who the characters are.
Well, I'm going to say Captain America and Batman.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Gulliver, start us off whenever you're ready.
So I chose Deadpool and Mr. Mitsapitlik because I want to see a film that is pure, unadulterated, chaotic, neutral, and that was what this movie would be. I think that it would be a lot of dimension hopping, reality altering stuff that Deadpool would comment in hilarious ways upon, and the two of them would find some strange things to do together. And just the random wild aspect of it would be a roller coaster from start to finish. That is why I think this would be a good, enjoyable film.
All right. Everybody loves Batman, and what would be cooler than having any of the Batman? Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck teaming up with Chris Evans as Captain America. Seeing the two of them on an adventure together, fighting, dueling wits or battling wits, swapping stories back and forth, I think would make for a hell of an adventure, especially if they're going up against their own respective villains. Maybe the Joker, maybe Red Skull, who knows? And as we know, Joker and Red Skull don't get along in the comics either. I think they make for an amazing story. But focusing on Batman and Captain America, even just the two of them duking it out would be one hell of a fight.
I see a Batman and Captain America movie as very similar to a Batman and Superman movie in the sense that Captain America and Superman share a lot of the same values. So for me, that wouldn't add as much as seeing something that would be more of like a new element.
I'm going to give people The World's Finest, the movie we never got. Batman and Superman never got a chance to have a World's Finest, and Batman and Captain America teaming up together is exactly that. Two great soldiers, superheroes respecting each other and kicking ass together, showing teamwork is something we don't see a whole lot, specifically coming from DC.
Okay, so Claudia, you're gonna judge this round, and now the stakes are high, folks, because if Gulliver gets this point, then he wins. No, really, it's the point we're
Can
still
I
in the
just say
game.
once again, I'm really impressed with both of you. This is a great fight.
This is quite possibly our finest, kind of. I want to say Disney debate because that's basically the offshoot of it. Definitely our finest Marvel debate. This has been really awesome.
I'd say it's up there with one of the best Disney debates. Just generally.
Yeah, it's definitely in the top. I'd say top 3, honestly. If it's not number 1,
Yeah.
it's up there.
Looks like I'm an insomniac is the asker of that question, rather than, that's what they're saying. I don't know.
Okay, let's. Yeah, this is it's based on Jacob Wiles' idea. Yeah. Well, thanks for the question, Jacob. I don't know. We got to give Claudia some love. So I mean, definitely tell us where you're leaning, Jacob. We'll shout that out too.
I tell you what, if Jacob and Claude tie, I can be the tiebreaker.
Well, we have Rohit too, Tiki. We could always,
Okay, Rohit can be the tiebreaker. I'm sorry, Rohit.
Yeah.
I was having a second thoughts as soon as I said it, but I should have. Can I say what I should have done instead?
Well, do you want to? Can you hold it
for
a second?
I'll hold it.
All right. But wait, Claudia, it's not. It's not Deadpool, Harley Quinn. Do you mean Deadpool and Mixospitalik? Oh god!
Sorry, Claude. Oh god!
Right,
Jacob, by all means, throw a vote if you want.
Yeah, Jedi Knight likes the pairing.
Jacob's leaning towards Gulliver.
Let's see again, Claudia. Just to clarify, if you meant Deadpool and Mixospitalik,
I did pick a weird character, so.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to get a spell. I'm sure it's hard, like the autocorrect or something's going to mess with Mixospitalik.
Very true.
Right, so that sounds like Jacob Wiles definitely leaning towards Deadpool and Mixospitalik, and it sounds like Claudia meant Deadpool and Mixospitalik. So it's looking like Jacob's. Looks like Jacob's going to get that point.
Yeah.
All right, which means So Jacob Gulliver. Oh wait! Wait a minute!
Shit.
Breaking news! Oh my god!
La La Land didn't win the Oscar, folks.
Oh my holy Warren Beatty Batman! The vote comes in for mine. Batman, Captain America. Okay, wow! This is the first time this happened. Okay.
Rohit, would you like to be the tiebreaker?
Oh god.
I have a strong opinion if you don't want to do it.
I know who I'm leaning to. I'm not going to give it away though.
Good arguments all around. I like Notarile's retort in regards to this is the world's finest movie we could have gotten with Batman and Captain America. However, I think there's just so much more potential with the movie filled with chaotic neutral energy with Deadpool, Mr. Mixospitalik, and I'm giving the point to Gulliver.
It's the ultimate drunk test saying Mixospitalik sober. I love that.
And and a little suggestion, Mixospitalik, played by Wallace Shawn, will make the ultimate.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, Dragon, I'm going to make it more complicated, all right? Because my vote would have been for Chris.
Mine too.
Oh, shit. I think we should give it to Chris.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna being the host. I'm gonna make the call that you know what? I mean, it's on the screen. Everything that was Claude's question. I'm gonna say Chris. Sorry, go. Nothing personal. I'm just gonna keep us going for at least another round here. Let's
all good.
The next point's gonna win. Gonna get all the marbles here, so it's tied up here. Chris
can we do my question?
Before that, I was going to say I should have actually said Batman and Punisher. I realized that would have actually been a better one because you actually would have had the ideals that went into Batman v Superman, but now with more validation.
Hey, Chris, did you ever see the crossover between Batman and the Punisher in the comic?
Yes.
Okay, would you adapt that if in this hypothetical, or would you?
I already
do
wrote a
something?
script for that back in 2004.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Sorry, getting sidetracked. Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's let's do yours. Sorry, just let me pull it up so we can read it there.
Would you like me to read it, Dragon?
Sure, Tiki. Read the question.
Okay. Which hero should get a standalone attraction in Avengers Campus next?
Ooh.
Now, just the ones that are off the table are Avengers, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Spider-Man.
Was Black Panther count? Does he have it?
Well, we have the Dora
Ooh,
Milaje.
that's a complicated. Yeah,
I mean,
and also we have an Avengers attraction coming up where
That would have been my choice too,
Wakanda
as
is
Black
the
Panther.
setting, supposedly. I'm gonna nix Black Panther.
just
Okay.
for safety's sake, you know.
Yeah.
I'll say Thor then.
Okay, that's fair.
He's an Avenger, though.
Yeah,
So
but
it
like
has to
a
count
the whole
standalone
team,
a standalone
though,
Avenger can count, just not an Avengers attraction.
Yeah, it's not like because
So just like a singular member, then.
Yeah, any singular
Yeah.
member would count.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I would probably say.
Same Jedi Knight, same.
Don't know. And you said Doctor Strange was off the table, obviously.
Yeah, because he's got like the magic show. I think it's just an attraction. It doesn't have to be a ride. Specifically.
No, I know. I'm thinking of like for meet and greets and stuff for people who would want to meet a character.
I mean, Chris, I'd maybe stay away from meet and greets just because there's already a ton of them, and and nobody can keep track of exactly who's there.
So this is just like because I haven't been to the California Adventure Marvel thing yet.
It'd just be like a Marvel ride.
Marvel, a ride.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. Speedball.
Okay. Wait. Well,
New
yeah,
Warrior Speedball. You're telling me that would not make an amazing
No,
ride?
no. I'm not knocking. I'm just trying to like take it. Well, take it. Your question. Would you allow?
I
it?
would
It's
prefer someone that's already inside of
That's what I'm saying. We gotta use the MCU. That's the thing, Chris.
Damn it.
Look, it's cool. It's a cool idea, though. But yeah,
Yeah.
I figure we have to do.
All right,
MCU.
fine. Then I'm gonna say Falcons Captain America.
Okay, that totally works. That totally
All right.
works.
All right,
I also
Falcons,
agree with Jedi Knight, ditch the magic show and give him a ride. Look, folks, if it wasn't for that stupid magic show, Doctor Strange would definitely be on here. I'm sorry.
They should just have that Doctor Strange magic show at night. That would solve all that's problems.
I agree with that. I mean, it wouldn't solve all the problems, but it'd at least be a step in the right
They could
direction.
have like lights and stuff too.
All
It
right,
would look a lot
anyways.
better. Anyway,
Okay, so Gulliver, you're going first.
I would theme a Thor ride or attraction around the Rainbow Bridge, the Bifrost, and have traveling from location to location within the space in the MCU, essentially. So we would get glimpses of Asgard and Jotunheim and Svartalfheim and all the fun places that we can go with Thor. We would get aspects of cool monsters and some of the favorite characters as well with that. I think that would be a really fun, enjoyable ride.
All right. I think a Sam Wilson Captain America roller coaster is the way to go. That also incorporates the feeling of flying. Now you can try and incorporate elements from Soarin' the Ride where you have a simulation of moving, or you can just have that motherfucker zipping and zooming all over the damn park. But it's going to be fast, it's going to be furious, and it's going to be filled with action and adventure to get everyone's adrenaline pumped, because that's what Sam Wilson's Captain America is. He flies, he's fast, and he's heroic. And I think anybody going to a theme park wants thrill. And that's what you get with Captain America. Now what?
I agree that Sam Wilson, Captain America, is full of thrills, very exciting. But I think what we would see is a lot of things that you can already see on other Disney rides in regards to like, beautiful landscapes or cities. I think being able to see the multiverse or the Asgard in space would be more interesting.
We're going into war. This is a war roller coaster. So you're getting people shooting at you. You're flying back and forth. You're getting enemies all over the place. Whereas in Thor, you're going on an adventure through the Bifrost and you're visiting magical places. We already have rides like that. But in terms of roller coasters, war.
Yeah.
Now, Tiki,
Okay, guys. This is pretty straightforward for me. I'm going to give the win to Notarile. I think Gulliver, I think if you had more time to pitch your idea, I really think you could have fleshed it out. But I feel like in the context of a speed round, Notarile really took that to heart and, pun intended with a roller coaster, kind of. But I really do think the roller coaster would be a good, I really could see California Adventure benefiting from a second speed coaster that's maybe a little bit more intense than California Screamin'. And I really dug the flying. The one caveat I have is that the Avengers attraction is supposed to use the Quinjet, so I wonder if that's too many flying attractions. But you know what? It's superheroes. Come on, we can have more than one flying.
Isn't the Quinjet supposed to be a VR simulation?
I'm not sure. I hope not. But WandaVision live show where the audience gets involved. Jedi Knight. That's a solid idea.
You know what's my idea?
What?
Loki TVA.
Also a solid idea. Seriously.
That would be. You mean like just to walk into the TVA and everything?
No, I mean,
I'm down for that, honestly.
Well, you can get visitor passes, or they can give out variant passes when you walk in, and they slap a sticker on you.
I would legitimately do a Loki TVA experience where it's just a very realistic, dry, waiting in line, filling out paperwork.
God help you if you don't take a ticket, though.
Right?
Bureaucracy. No, that's walking in. You know where they have the thing, are you a robot or not?
Yeah.
That's the metal detector. When you get in, when you go to California Adventure, the person there, are you a robot? Are you sentient? Any capacity? I don't know. Step through.
Oh, God. It's awesome.
All right.
Excellent.
And they put a burn mark on the floor just for the hell of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
so everybody who enters California Adventure has to walk through that thing, and there's just burn marks everywhere, claw marks and shit.
All right, so we got gobs of really good theme park suggestions here. We should just shout out. Just to, read through. Again, you already read the WandaVision one. OAW Entertainment suggests Black Widow bungee jump. Cool.
Yeah, I couldn't see Disney doing that. It was in Universal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Universally, they're definitely may carry over to Universal. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, even Universal, it's a little iffy. Like if it's a Six Flags, definitely, no question. But
Universal's seen the writing on the walls with the MCU stuff competing with them. I think they're
yeah.
It's like let's throw a little danger at it. Let's just go for it. We saw the client. We saw that Black Widow movie. Let's go with the bungee.
I mean, Universal definitively has the better Spider-Man ride. I think
they do. Though. I mean, I do agree with that. Yeah. So let's see. OAW also suggests Hawkeye Dodgeball Arena for kids. That's inventive.
I'm not sure about dodgeball, but I like the idea of like a Hawkeye kind of like obstacle course, like activity zone.
I'd like honestly if they could do like some sort of like sensor, like basically what if you did a successful version of the thing on that Spider-Man ride where you have like a sensor on a bow or something, like kids could do archery.
I mean, to be fair, I've heard the sensors on the Spider-Man ride work really well. That's not the problem with that ride. All right. Anyways,
let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else really good that we're.
What do you think of the Winter Soldier sled ride?
That sounds fun. That sounds really
just Bucky Barnes taking you on a Winter Wonderland tour, but he's just uber serious.
It's really funny because if I recall, in Hot Tub Time Machine, wasn't he like a ski instructor or something?
I think so. Yeah,
makes that even better. I'm down for anything with the Winter Soldier, man. Like yes. Okay.
A ludicrous idea would be if you're on a ride that's literally shaped like Captain America's shield, and it's just you being thrown around like all the way across the park.
No joke. I've been rewatching.
Well, that day you be Ant-Man, so you might as well just have an Ant-Man experience.
That actually wouldn't be wouldn't be a bad idea.
If they didn't destroy Bugs Land, you could have been Ant-Man.
Yeah, I know. That's kills me. I'll tell you. I'll tell you something though. I was watching. I've been rewatching Earth's Mightiest Heroes because of the Kang of it all. And there's a bit where Captain America, he was sledding down all this snow. I was like on the shield and everything. I thought it was so quaint. Oh, look at him sliding down the shield like Morgan Stark in Endgame, like we talked about. So she's about to go sledding. I was like, this whole sled ride with Bucky just kind of grabbing me more and more. Like, oh yeah, it's a little sledding action. That'd be nice. Okay, so we're at the end.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank our panelists and our special guest for showing up. Again, we already made plugs, but not really. You want to anything else in particular you want to hype up, like what the thing you're working on next?
Tomorrow I am filming my new Powerpuff Girls short film. We'll be releasing that sometime in August, and it's going to be it's going to feel like an episode of Powerpuff Girls, but they're grown up now.
But done right.
But done right, yes. That the key element.
Yes, as in not the CW, but what the CW should do.
Yes, I'm doing everything they're not actually.
Exactly. All right, so I want to thank everyone. Let's a little quick kind of head count shout out here. Okay, so we got who have joined us here, of course, Rohit Dar, Connor Nielsen. See, we got Honeybee, we got Executive, we got Jacob Weil, we got OAW Entertainment from, I believe, the Geekvolution kind of side of the coin there. So good to see him pop up. Kind of cheering old Connor boy on. All right, you got Lord of the Rings fan. We got Jedi Knight. Glad he showed up because he had some pre-submitted questions. Would have been really embarrassing if he didn't show up. Well, for us more so. Claude Karinga. And yeah, that's everyone. Thanks for showing up, guys. That brings us to
guys, it's been a great show. Awesome judges. Notarile, Gulliver, you both really brought it. It came down to the wire. This is the first time in a while it's come down to the wire, right, Dragon?
Yeah, I mean, truly come down to the wire. Yeah. I mean, this has been like really like it's by like the one in 14 million realities type kind of
right. So Gulliver, by all means, like you absolutely like kicked ass this round. So
I appreciate it.
I hope to have you on again for one of these in the future when we do another Marvel one.
For sure.
All right, Dragon. Sorry. Take us out.
All right, till next time we march along this merry marvelous way and talk about the next Disney adjacent show down the line. Could be Disney, really. We don't really quite know what it is. It's probably not going to be a double.
Probably going to be What If.
Probably.
What if you talk about it? What if you talk about it? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Exactly. There's so many variants, so little time. All right. Till next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, y'all.